Recording in progress.
Unaweza kuona slide yangu? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so kama nilivyosema, let's just spend probably the next 15 to 20 minutes on these slides. Kama una maswali, please unaweza kuandika pembeni, and then nikishamaliza we can have an engagement. Kwa maeneo ambayo itahitaji further clarification, I'll be happy to do so. Unaweza pia ukapost lako kwenye chat, au unaweza uka unmute nikishamaliza, and then you can ask a question. So introduction is not necessarily needed now, lakini nimeshakuwa introduced. But you can go to salumawadh.com. You can learn more about myself and what I do and what we do at a company level. So I founded SSC Capital 11 years ago. I was previously an employee myself as well. I worked for State University of New York. I worked for, which was on the USAID. I worked for a pension fund before I quit and started my own thing. So as a company, tuna initiatives nyingi ambazo we are currently implementing in Tanzania kwenye masuala ya finance investment kama unavyoziona hapo. I won't have time to go through each of them, lakini mostly zinakata across issues on either kwenye kusaidia kuinvest kwenye startups na businesses in Tanzania kupitia model ya venture capital, au kuallow watu kuinvest kutumia platforms ambazo we are building, au pia kupata knowledge and skills through training that we provide. As a company, of course, we have done transactions in excess of $300 million so far. So I think we have some level of experience in understanding of the market in Tanzania and across East Africa. So as a company, these are things we do. Nashukuru introduction, nafikiri sha cover these areas. Kama kuna mtu atakuwa na maswali, I can go much deeper, but I can just say a little kwenye maeneo mawili. Kwenye strategy advisory, what we do is we'll help companies and institutions kwenye maeneo mbalimbali around strategy, whether setting up a new strategy, whether it's a business strategy, whether it's an expansion strategy, whether the company is not performing well, wanahitaji ku restructure biashara yao ili iwe profitable, whether you want to expand it to new markets, whether you want to set up a new manufacturing facility. So we do such things. Whether you're an international company, you want to enter to Tanzania, we can support you with your market entry and all that kind of stuff. And then with investment banking, tunafanya vitu vitatu hapo. Moja, we do asset and wealth management. So we advise people manage their wealth, literally investing and growing their investments. Lakini tunafanya capital raising money for companies. If you're looking for anything from $1 million and above, we'll help you raise from private equity and venture capital sources. Yeah. Now, recently, of course, we set up our fund, Badala Impact Fund, which is a venture capital fund, which we plan to start investing June next year. So if you have a startup, you're trying to raise money, kuanzia $1 from $50 mpaka $1.50 will be in a position to invest in your company. As long as you're in sectors of education, healthcare, food and agribusiness, in technology, na maeneo mengine ambayo yana huge impact kwenye local communities. So we operate in Tanzania. Our offices are in Oysterbay, Benz Avenue, also in Kigali, Rwanda, and recently also set up in UAE, Dubai in particular. So why do you want to talk about the whole idea ya investment club? I understand kwamba watu wanajaribu kumobilize resources zao waweze kuinvest, watu waweze kujikwamua na maisha, wawe na financial freedom, build wealth, na kuishi maisha yao comfortably. Now there are so many ways you can do that. Unaweza kufanya at an individual level, unaweza ukaamua kuwa na group kama groups hizi ambazo za kwenu. The main aim is to mobilize resources na kuweza kuzinvest. So usually unaweza ukafanya in 3 ways. One, unaweza ukainvest mwenyewe personally if you have some knowledge about investing. Na naposema investment hapa inakata across all types of investments, whether you want to buy shares kwenye soko la hisa, mfano soko la hisa Dar es Salaam, or you want to buy bonds, or you want to invest in agriculture, you want to invest in real estate, or you want to buy lands na nini, you want to invest in UTT, as a mutual fund. Kwa hiyo kuna vitu vingi ambavyo we can invest. Na it also depends on how much you want to invest at a personal level. Na mara nyingi, of course, at a personal level, for you to do it well, you need to have some knowledge in the area. So you, hata kama una background in finance and investment, you have to learn for you to become a professional investor. Lakini pili, kama huna that knowledge, and probably you have no time ya kwanza kusoma, kwanza kujua how the stock market works, how to pick stocks, which bond to invest in. You know, if someone presents you with an opportunity, anakuambia bana kuna deal fulani hivi ukiingiza $5 million, ilako ina double in 5 months, how do you know whether this is an investment opportunity or is a pyramid scheme? So if you don't have much to do around that, you can use professional help. So people like ourselves or others in the market ambao wanatoa misaada namna hiyo. Or you can set up a group na mkainvest kama group, with so many advantages when you invest as a group, kama nitavyoelezea shortly. So an investment club actually is just a group of individuals ambao wanaamua to pull their money together for the purpose of investing. Now you invest for your own benefit. So unlike a fund, where a fund actually, the fund manager and invest for the benefit of the investors in the fund. Lakini kwenye investment club, you invest your own money for the benefit of your own selves. Kwa hiyo ina tabia kufanana kama mutual fund. Unasema mutual fund, mfano mzuri ni tunadhani wote tunafahamu UTT. It's a scheme where one company or individuals, a fund manager, anatengeneza structure na ana pull funds from individuals mbalimbali kwa kuuzia either shares or vipande, as what UTT is doing, and then anachukua zile hela na invest on their behalf. At the end of the year, anaweza akazi distribute zile faida zinazopatikana kama dividends to members, au members kama wanataka kuuza, they can sell their shares au vipande vyao when they want to, kwa sababu tayari vinakuwa ni vina value. Na usually kwenye investment club, everything that you do, all the investment decisions that you make lazima zifanyike through voting, kwa sababu ni ya kwetu, is our club, is our investment na kila kitu. Unlike kwenye mutual fund, wala zako unampelekea mtu, either mimi unaletea la zako, you cannot vote usually where to invest. You trust me, and then you give me your money, and then I decide where to invest your money. Lakini pia members wanatakiwa wa attend meetings kwa sababu kuna benefits nyingi when you set up an investment club. So usually an investment club is not just about investing. Na kama natumia ile club pia kama sehemu ya kuongeza pia maarifa na knowledge around finance and investment. So what you do is mnaweza mkawa mna sessions kama today, labda you have a club na mtaka labda muinvest kwenye, kwa mfano labda Tigo will be selling their shares labda doing the IPO kwenye Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange, but you're not sure whether you should invest in or not. So as an investment club, you can call in someone who is an expert na mkamlipa na akaja ku break down your opportunity whether it's worth investing or not. Kwa hiyo ni benefit nyingine kuwa na investment club, kwa sababu ukienda wewe peke yako, maybe might cost you a lot kupata hiyo professional advice ya mtu kukuadvise wewe, kuanalyze hizo stocks na kukwambia whether to buy, whether they are overpriced or they are underpriced na vitu kama hivyo. But as a club, kwa sababu mko wengi, unaweza mka mobilize. Kama mtu anataka alipe labda mfano $10,000,000, ni rahisi ku split among members, unlike kama ungekuwa wewe peke yako mfano. Lakini kitu kingine pia ni vizuri kuanzisha investment club na watu ambao wana common background. So usually watu ambao probably they went to school together, they are work colleagues, au ni watu ambao wanafahamiana, they grew up together, kwa sababu ya changamoto ambazo can raise. Unajua kwenye mambo investment haya, sometimes investments can go bad. Hakuna investment ambayo ni haina risk, you know. So anything can happen with that investment. Sasa kama hatu mjuani and you have strangers, watu wengine wanaweza kaanza kupelekana mahakamani, anataka nadai hela zake na nini, which is usually not a good thing. Lakini kama mnafahamiana is easy, lakini pia kama mnafahamiana ni rahisi kujua how to manage all the politics of the group among yourselves. Kwa kama mna group tayari ambao mmesha set up, is so easy to go into an investment club sababu tayari ni watu ambao mnafahamiana. Na investment club inaweza kuwa ni open or close ended. Ikiwa open ended manake once you start it, say mnaanza mko 15 people or 20 people, mtaendelea ku recruit new members as you go along. Ikiwa ni close ended manake mnatangaza the call for people to join the club na mnatoa muda ya watu to join, say probably give 3 months. After 3 months, what you do is you close it. Hakuna mtu ambaye ataweza kujoin kwa huo muda mpaka tena mtakapoamua ku call in again. Now you may want to call in again after 6 months or after 12 months. And usually at that stage, mnaweza mkaamua pia hata zile other membership fees badilike na nini kwa sababu ya ile premium ambayo msha generate as a club. Na investments zinafanyika jointly, kwa hiyo tofauti na sehemu zingine, say an investment network. An investment network different from an investment club is, in an investment network hamchukui zile hela kwa pamoja, mzichangi. You just meet, you discuss the investment opportunities, zinakuwa broken down for you, and then kila member anaenda kuinvest individually. Lakini investment club zile hela zinakuwa pulled together, so you have to invest as one. Now members, of course, among yourselves, mnaweza mkashare knowledge and skills. If someone has some knowledge in investment na nini, inaweza kasaidia kwenye kufanya ile decision bila kuomba professional help. So you need benefit nyingine when you have an investment club, kwa sababu member na diverse backgrounds. So an investment club is not a mutual fund. I'm just insisting. Secondly, it's not a saving scheme. Naposema saving scheme is a group ya watu ambao wana pool their funds together for the purpose of kupeana fedha when they're in need of that money. Whether mtu amepata emergency anataka kukopa au anataka kukopa labda apanue biashara yake. You know, easy group za, you know, tunapenda kutumia maneno sio kufa na kupona and such things. You know, so that is purely a saving scheme. There's nothing wrong with that. Lakini purpose ya hiyo is not necessarily investing. Kikubwa ni kusaidiana. Kwa hata maeneo ambayo uta invest hizo hela yanakuwa ni very low risk, low return areas with high liquidity, kwa sababu ni hela za watu utaki kusipoteza when they want the money. You know, unlike in investment where you can even make very high risk decisions, because the purpose is not saving, the purpose is investing. And when the purpose is investing, the end result is building wealth. So wealth is generated through risk taking. Now, it's not a fund, so you don't have to get a fund manager or when you register at the Capital Markets Authority and to come in. Now, it should not be a pyramid scheme where new members will have to pay off previous members, paid by previous members. Just to highlight, tofauti meza kwa mna group yenu na mnachangishana, and you might think they probably have an investment club, which is not. So usually kama nilivyosema kwenye investment club contributions zinakuwa equal. Inaweza sio lazima, but it's mostly recommended ili mwe na equal say na equal vote kwenye decision making ya where you invest your money, ili mu avoid ile tendency ya watu wachache ku drive the investment club na kuwafanyia maamuzi watu wengine. In a savings scheme, of course, is different. You can have varying contributions, kwa sababu kila mmoja ataweza kusave kile ambacho anaweza kusave. And usually kwenye investment club hakuna separation. Wale members wenyewe ndio wana form a management team na ku oversee the club. Lakini kwenye savings scheme, mfano kama SACCOs, vikoba and all that, you might not necessarily have to manage the day-to-day dynamics of the group. You can hire a separate team. You can hire an accountant who is not necessarily a member. Purpose in investing kwenye investment club, lakini purpose ya savings scheme is saving. Kama nilivyosema, when you use these two words, investing comes with risk taking, na saving comes with risk averse. You have to avoid risk as much as you can, because the purpose is to save the money. Kwenye investment club, of course, we discourage members to loan among themselves, kutotumia ile pesa kwa ajili ya kukopeshana, unless you structure it well, and na mikopo inakuwa maybe part of the investment portfolio, kwamba 10% of our pesa zetu tutazitoa kama mikopo, na the rest of the money we can invest in other areas. Lakini kwenye saving scheme, main purpose actually is to save, so you can probably borrow against your savings. Hakuna regulations zozote ambazo zinahusiana na investment club, so investment club can be set up in many different legal forms kama nitaongea shortly. Lakini kwenye saving scheme, of course, it's highly regulated, whether through central bank, BOT na vitu vingine kama hivyo. Kwenye investment club, you have to be very non-risk averse, where you have to take much risk as you can. Na kwenye saving scheme nadhani nimeelezea, you really have to avoid as much risk as you can. So why do you set up a club? Kwa nini kama nyinyi mna groups sasa hivi, okay, why should you set up a club? One is an investment club kwanza inatengeneza passive income kwa members, meaning kila mtu anafanya shughuli zake hapa as we speak, either umeajiriwa au umeajiri mwenyewe na biashara yako, biashara zako, and then of because you have to wake up in the morning to go to do that. It is an active income. So when investment club, zile ambazo umeweka kwenye club zinakuwa invested in most cases kwenye financial markets, so that you earn your money while sleeping actually. So you don't have to go anywhere. If your money is in bonds, stocks, real estate, na maneno kama hayo, you really don't have to wake up and go to a stock market and do it and work actually. Lakini pili, it's an opportunity to learn from each other, especially when as you invest, you keep on learning from each other with masuala investment. Lakini pia inawasaidia ku overcome zile initial cost of investing. Unajua kuna maeneo mengine, mfano labda you want to go invest in bonds, atakwambia labda minimum investment is 1 million, or you want to buy treasury bills, utaambia minimum investment in 500,000. So at times mtu mmoja labda anaweza kaona this is not for me, au labda kuna opportunity. Sasa hivi nimeona kuna kama ipush ya watu kununua. Sasa hivi watu wengi wamepata awareness ya kununua apartments for renting purposes as an investment. Kama Zanzibar nimeona Fumba na wapi, maybe may want to buy a property na wale Fumba town wana project sasa paka za $25-30, so you can buy as a club. Lakini wewe as a person labda unaweza kuona ni nyingi kutoa $20-25 kwenda kununua property, but as a club unaweza mkapool zile hela na mkaweza kununua hiyo, mkafanya hiyo investment na ile property kama mali ya investment club, na mkawa mna split the rental income at the end of the year. Lakini pia if you do this over time, eventually it has to change the lives of the members. Kwa sababu unajua umeona kwenye saving scheme rarely change people's lives, to be honest. Inabadilisha maisha ya watu wengi kwa kiasi kidogo sana, kwa sababu you save, you borrow against it, you save, you borrow against it, and then you have to pay it back. And then probably you might be, running on a treadmill. You have run, umeweza kukimbia 5 kilometers, but you're still at the same place. But with investment club, the purpose is to invest, take risk. Kwa hiyo kuna maeneo ambayo you can lose your money, kuna maeneo you can earn 40% return, kuna maeneo you can earn 15% return on your investment. So if you're consistent and if you compound your investment over time, maisha ya members lazima ibadilike in 4 or 5 years. If the lives of the members are not changing, then probably something's wrong with the investment club. Lakini pia kuna benefits nyingi na minimize the risk, kwa spread the risk among your members. Kama nilivyosema pale mwanzo, unajua ukienda kuinvest $25 peke yako, the risk which is exposed to you is different from when hiyo hela ikiwa split among 20 members, labda kila mtu akatoa $1,000, $1,200. The risk is lower than the risk of investing $25,000. Lakini kuna fees. Unajua mambo investment yana management fee. If you hire my company to manage your investment, we charge you a certain percentage of all the investment that we do for you. Ukiwa peke yako, you pay all that, but if as a group, because it's pretty among members, and then the fees will be lower. Lakini mwisho kuna collective wisdom. Unajua sometimes when it comes to investment as an individual, if you're investing, all investors make bad mistakes, bad decisions at times. Sometimes you can invest in the wrong company, in the wrong stocks. Sometimes unaweza kwenye hizi biashara hizi za kila siku, watu unajua wengine wameingia, watu wengine labda probably invested in things like Mr. Kuku labda, and then walipata matatizo na vitu kama hivyo, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Lakini unaweza kuinvest kwenye vitu kama tulivyoona watu waliinvest kwenye desi na nini, na wakati mwingine is emotional decision. Unaona watu wana invest kwa kitu kwenye investment tunaita head following. Kila mtu ana invest and you also want to be part of that. Lakini when you invest as a group, sometimes you can have checks among yourselves. Mtu mwingine anasema bana, guys, why should we do this? Mimi labda namjua mtu fulani alishafanya investment kama hiyo akapata matatizo. Kwa hiyo kuna hiyo collective wisdom when you invest as members. Na when you start an investment club, inaweza grow beyond an investment club na ikawa kitu kikubwa zaidi. It can grow into a publicly listed investment company where you can even become much and much bigger. Kwa hiyo natolea mifano this company Century, it's a Kenyan company as an investment club. A few friends were engineers, Kenyans. In 1997, of course, they were meeting for a drink, here and there. They thought probably they could set up something, and then they set up an investment club, and then they started investing. Now, everything is going well. In 2009, they had to register as a company, wakalisti kwenye Nairobi Securities Exchange ili kupata new members ambao watanunua hisa. So they did that, and they managed to bring in close to 2,000 members. And the investment company started investing in so many things, infrastructure, kama power, infrastructure projects. Now unaongelea a huge project. So the assets of the company by 2018 were around 6 billion Kenyan shillings, which is what, more than 100 billion Tanzanian shillings. Na they invested even mpaka Tanzania huku kwenye chai bora, invest kwenye Tanlake, East African Cables na nini. Kwa hiyo you can think of an investment club initially as they say ile inaanza kama mbegu, but over time it can still remain as an investment club na ikafanya mambo makubwa zaidi. You can invest in bigger mega projects, you know, lakini pia you may also want to convert it into an investment kama alivyofanya Nico. Nico would be an ideal example if it did well initially. Yeah, mobilize the resources from other people na kutengeneza a very strong public company, which initially started as an investment club. So usually if you want to set it up, kuna process tatu. Process ya kwanza, mkishakaa mkakubaliana kwamba you want to start an investment club, you initiate a call for members to join. So you can send emails or whatever, if you have a WhatsApp group, mkaji-invite, and then mkakutana. Yule ambaye atakuwa na initiate, mfano kama if you engage my company to do this for you, tunatengeneza kama concept note ya your specific investment club, the way it is going to work and the way it's going to invest. Alafu you share that to members watasoma ile concept note. Wakiona kama they're interested, then you go to the next stage na kuanza sasa kuambia wale members ambao wako tayari ku apply kuwa members. So you can have maybe a simple form, maybe a simple Google form, watu wakasign, wakasign kama members, wakajaza form, whichever form you want to. Ukishamaliza hiyo stage, then members will meet for the first time, na wataamua sasa ku-expound the discussion, the concept note, na kuangalia sasa the specific objectives zetu sisi nini. Na objectives tend to vary. Kuna watu ambao they want to invest for retirement. Kwa maana we are investing all our money now, but we don't want to take anything out of our investments at the end of the year. Don't pay us dividends. Sisi tunachotaka ni kwamba let's invest ili by the time watu wanapofikia muda wa kuretire, I have my investment somewhere, and then I qualify, naanza kulipwa out of that investment ambayo nimefanya. Au unaweza mkaamua kwamba labda mnafanya investment and then mnapeana profit kila baada ya quarter au kila baada ya 6 months au kila baada ya mwaka. Pia mkaamua mnataka kuinvest maeneo gani, so you decide how you want to do that. Nimeona nchi zingine kama Nigeria wanaanzisha investment club alafu wanakuwa na invest kwenye startups. Kwa hiyo mnakuwa mna hela, say labda mmeanza labda na milioni 10, 20, imegrow 100 million, 200 million. Badala ya watu kwanza kukimbizana, sijui unataka ukaanzishe kilimo cha soya, sijui wapi, au uende ukaanza kulima sijui avocado, sijui Mbeya and all that, and then people losing money. Instead of you doing that as an investment club, you can invest in existing companies and take shares, maybe 10-15% ukawa shareholder. Kwa badala wewe kwenda kulima, you can own shares in a company ya mtu ambaye analima, ambaye yuko kule full time. So these are these models and structures that you may decide. Now, what type of members you want, je, mta invite new members, how much should be the contribution, which legal structure to be used. Then of course mna formalize na register ile investment club. Baada ya hapo mnaanza execution inaanza na kufanya uchaguzi ya members, alafu mnapeana muda wa watu kuanza contribute. Baada ya hapo kishapatikana a certain amount, then investment starts. Na kuna 3 models ambazo mnaweza mkaselect. Model ya kwanza inaitwa business model. Business model is when you want to do an active income. So here what happens is mnataka kufanya kilimo, lakini mnaona kabisa kwamba kufanya kilimo cha kisasa ambacho kina irrigation, to use technology na mambo mengine, you think is expensive. Kwa hiyo kwa sababu huwezi kuinvest as an individual, you can organize as a group na mkafanya mka collect hizo hela na mkaenda kuinvest. So you may be doing that. Lakini pili, in the financial model where funds are pooled for the purpose of just investing kwenye financial markets. Kama nimesema pale mwanzo, this is purely passive income. Au ukafanya what we call a non-financial model. So with a non-financial model, actually what happens is you don't pool the funds together while you don't invest jointly. Machokifanya matumia tu ile opportunity the way we do sisi mfano kwenye Tanzania Angel Investors Network, atuchukui zile hela za members. What we do is we identify startups, tunaziscreen zile startups, tunazifanyia due diligence, tunaangalia which ones are worthwhile investing in, and then to organize a pitch session, and then the startups will come and pitch to the members, and members wataamua who is interested to invest into that startup. Wale watakaoamua, basi we prepare the legal work, and then they go and invest into these companies. Kwa hiyo inakuwa ni club ambayo mna share opportunities, mna discuss zile opportunities, lakini hamuinvest jointly. Mnakuwa kila mtu ana invest peke yake. So if you want to do this, kuna vitu vitatu that we can help you. Kitu cha kwanza, we can train you if you want to set up this investment club and run it yourself. Kwa sababu investment club inaweza kawa run kwenye masuala investment mkarun kila kitu wenyewe, au mkaamua ku-source part of it, labda kwenye masuala investment mkampa mtu kazi akawa anafanya investment on your behalf, na vitu vingine kama hivyo. Kwa hiyo training peke yake, we can do that for you, we organize for you, which is more detailed now. Now we can do a training of 3 hours, usually between say 9 to mpaka lunchtime. And usually we do this physically. So we meet and have the discussion. Sasa kuelewa vizuri investment, the nitty-gritties, all these investment opportunities, we go much deeper na kuzielezea kila moja. Kama ni bonds, what are the bonds, how do they work? If in stocks, how do you pick stocks, how do they work? Real estate industry nzima ikoje sasa hivi, what sort of returns zilizopo sasa hivi, the legal framework, challenges zilizopo, now of course tunakupa the overall investment opportunities across East Africa, because we as a company tuna invest across the region. And then that's it, we are done. And then you mnaweza mkaendelea na mkaamua set up the club yourself. Maybe you have all the expertise internally. Kama mnataka pia kusaidiwa ku set up the club, and then we can do that for you. Setting up the club ina involve some paperwork ambayo tutazitaja hapa shortly. Na mwisho ni investment support. Investment support kwa maana kwamba mnaweza mkawa mna identify investment opportunities, and then you use a third party, maybe like myself, kwa analyze ile opportunity kabla mja invest. Mfano kama sasa hivi mdogo ni wapi? I work with this diaspora group inaitwa Tanzania Diaspora Hub, TDH, ambao wao they are investing now back in Tanzania as a group. So what we do is, they might identify the opportunity, lakini kabla waja invest, they will task me to do some analysis for that opportunity. Kama last time so they'll be investing kwenye mambo ya fish farming. So before they do that, they would engage me kuwafanyia feasibility study, kuangalia kuhusu ile project, do the numbers, do some research, kuonyesha how the market landscape ikoje, pricing, nini, and all that before they make the decision. So you can outsource some of the services you want. Imetokea kama hivyo nilivyosema, sasa hivi kuna watu MTN, which is one of the largest telco companies in Africa, sasa hivi wanauza shares zao, they're doing IPO in Uganda, and as Tanzanians we are allowed to invest in Uganda actually. So we have been getting inquiries about watu wanataka kujua whether they should or they should not. Kwa hiyo vitu kama hivyo, we can provide that type of support. So kwenye training, these are the parts which we cover. So part 1 is usually everything which I have said today, lakini tutakuwa much deeper. Part 2 is the whole process, how to structure your investment club, na hizi models kuzielezea vizuri, pros and cons of each model. And then of course train how, if you want to do it internally, how do you design your investment strategy, and the whole investment process, how would you do it? How much of your money should go to bonds? How much of your money should go to shares? If you're investing in stocks, how much should go into high-end stocks? How much should go into probably the growth stocks like JATO, KLC, and others? How much should go into buying land? How much should go into real estate? Which market should you invest? How much should you invest in Tanzania? How much can you invest in Kenya? So the investment strategy usually tells you all that kind of stuff. And then of course we train you kwenye masuala ya membership, how members should join, how members should exit, if they want to exit, watu mwingine members wanataka wajitoe, how do you treat that? Na mtu kisha contribute hela zake. Issues of governance, na kusimamia decision making inakuaje, reporting and all that. Na mwisho, we can also we train you kwenye growth options. Nimeongelea hapa Transcentual ya Kenya is just one of the options of growth. There's so many ways you can grow your investment club, and when you want to wind up happens. Kwenye ile setting up nakuwa nasema pale mwanzo, this is the level of documentation that you need as a club. You need an investment policy ambayo in our guide on how and where to invest your money. Lakini pia the risk policy, aina gani za risk you are willing to take. And usually kwenye mambo ya risk tunaangalia the average age of the group members. kwa sababu unajua risk, as you age, you're supposed to take less and less risk here. When you're young, you take more risk. So when you know the average age of the group, and then you know kwamba sisi bana as a group we want to invest in aina hii ya investment. Mfano labda you think investing in Bitcoin is high risky, na watu wengi labda they're above 45 now, and then people are about to retire wako kwenye 50s, they might be ready to absorb the shock if this investment goes sour. Kwa vitu kama then the risk policy will say that. Now the membership charter, which is a separate document, kama vile code of conduct. Na mwisho, if you want to set up as a limited company, then we can help you with all the paperwork. If you want to set up as a trust, na vitu vingine kama hivyo. Na kwenye ile investment support we give you, tunaweza tukakusaidia one kuselect hizo investment opportunities. We have one client ambao wao tunachofanyia to identify the opportunities, and then we analyze, and then we profile them, and then we send them we send these opportunities to them. Nakumbuka last time we had the opportunity, wao wali identify 10 sectors in Tanzania they want to invest in, but they don't know what to invest in. Kama ni kilimo, kama ni healthcare, kama ni education, kama ni manufacturing, kama ni logistics. What can we do in these 10 sectors? And then we analyzed kwenye kila sector, the value chain, what are the opportunities, what are the potential risk, what are the potential return on investment, ili waweze kufanya investment decision yao. Lakini pili, kucheck viability and authenticity of any investment opportunity which is presented to you. Anakuja mtu hapa anambia bana kuna big opportunity ya kuinvest kwenye kitu gani. If you give us 10 million, we can invest this money and give you 30% on a monthly basis. You're not sure, and then we can help you kufanya due diligence kuangalia kama that opportunity is authentic. Na pia kufanya evaluation kuona kwamba the price you're paying is worthwhile. Na mwisho, of course, if you want to exit that opportunity, mfano umeinvest kwenye real estate, kama nitoa pale mfano mwanzo, you've invested in real estate, you have bought a property in Zanzibar, Tufumba project, and probably bana unaona something that you are interested in anymore, you want to sell it, then we can also try to support you how you can dispose of your asset. Nimalizie na 2 slides. One is the investment landscape in Tanzania sasa hivi ilivyo. We have a bond market where you go to the Salum stock exchange, you can buy bonds on the secondary market baada kuwa auctioned. We have a 25-year bond which is not doing very well, 20-year bond. All this bond market in Tanzania is very sleepy. So we can see all these bonds. Lakini pia we have 22 companies ambazo ziko listed kwenye the Salum stock exchange ambazo ni local. Now you have 6 companies ambazo zime cross list ambazo ni kampuni za mostly from Kenya. So you can invest in all these shares if you want to, na trend na nini jinsi inavyoendelea. So this is nilikuwa pale naongelea investment strategy, investment portfolio, nilikuwa nikitumia maneno. Maana yake as a club hutakiwi hela zenu zote same collect 50 million. You're not supposed to invest all this money in one thing. Naona watu wengine wanachukua zile hela, probably put in a fixed deposit, or you take all this money, go and buy shares, and then that's a wrong investment decision. What you usually do is you have to build what we call an investment portfolio, where you allocate your money to different investment types based on the risk which you're willing to take and the type of return that you want to generate from that. So this is my personal portfolio, just to demonstrate the practicability of what I'm telling you. So usually for me, if I want to invest any of my money, whenever I invest my money, I split it. 35% will go to what we call fixed income securities. Ambapo ndani yake ndo kuna mambo ya bonds, nini, fixed income accounts and such. Lakini pili, I invest 30% of my money into bonds. Then of course 10% when you mutual fund au kinota exchange fund. 15% I invest in real estate kwa kutumia kinota real estate investment trust. Na 10% I invest in everything else, whether I invest in a startup as an angel investor, I invest in Bitcoin. So anything that pops up, I look at it, I analyze it. So I might not have 100% confidence, but I think it's a risk worth taking, and then I can put just 10% of my money. So if everything goes south, it's only 10% of my money which I lose. So I cannot lose my sleep at night. And overall, for me, I invest in all these things to give me no less than 15% return on investment on annual basis. Anything below that, I don't invest. So this is what you can do as a club. You can decide how much you want to invest kwenye bonds, how much you want to invest kwenye shares. Hivyo ni vitu ambavyo vinafanyika wakati wa setup. Naomba nishie hapa, kama ulikuwa kuna maswali au kuna maeneo nataka clarification, I'll be happy to do so. Nirudishe kwa mwenyekiti.
Thank you, Awadh, for the brief introduction insights. Now you've opened our eyes on whether we are having an investment club or a savings scheme. So guys, mwenye maswali, so I don't know how much time you have for the maswali.
No, we can do maybe 10 minutes. Kama kuna maswali. Kama hamna, we can do 5 minutes.
All right, guys, maswali yawe straight to the maswali. Just unmute and ask the question.
Labda kama kuna maswali kwenye chat unaweza kuyasoma pia kama mtu anaamua kutuma kwenye chat.
Okay, Mina Swali. Good morning, Salum. Thank you for the brilliant presentation. This is Emma. Swali langu ni, what would you recommend to be the minimum initial investment for a group like ours that are just starting out and we're amateurs?
Thanks, Emma. I think for me, 10 million will be a good initial number.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah. Perfect, thank you.
Salum, mimi mwenyewe nina swali moja. On the services that you offer on the last slide on training, setting up the IC together with the investment support, tunaweza kupata roughly figure? Emma hapo ametoka kusema kwamba we can start with 10 million. So if we are to start with the 10 million, we would want to know how much would require us to outsource the services, if that is going to be one of our options.
Okay, I'll send you a standard proposal kwa sababu hizo pia kwenye hizo vitu vitatu. Training, of course, we charge 100,000 shillings per individual kwenye training, and minimum is 10 people. Lakini kwenye hizi zingine zina vary kwa sababu hizo services ambazo nimezitaja unaweza usichukue zote. So I'll send you a standard proposal ambayo inaonyesha kwa level hii, if you take this is how much you're going to charge you, level hii this is how much you're going to charge you. Lakini pia inaonyesha if you invest X amount, this is how much you're going to charge you. If you invest Y amount, this is how much you're going to charge you. Kwa hiyo ndakutumia hiyo and then we can share with the group.
Okay, thanks. From the chat, someone is asking, what is your advice in investing in bonds? Can I do as an individual?
Kama nilivyosema leo, it's not a training, and it's not an advisory session. It's much more about introducing to you the whole concept of investment club. But for the purpose of for the discussion, it really depends. Unajua bonds, of course you can invest as an individual, and kwa Tanzania you invest through a broker, so you have to create an account na stock broker. Now kwa stock brokers wengi sisi we have ambao we work with, so if you want I can help you with that. Lakini investing in bonds inategemea so many things. Or invest in anything, you know, kitu kwanza ni objective yako, why are you investing? Bonds ni investment opportunities ambazo zina lower risk na usually comparatively low return. Sasa hivi kidogo BOT recently wamekuwa very generous na investors wamekuwa kitoa very high return on investment kupitia hizo coupon, na ndio maana mpaka tumelalamika kwa sababu kama vile zinakuwa ni disincentive for banks to lend money to people if they can invest in bonds and generate all these 15% kwa mwaka. So you can invest kwenye bonds inategemea na purpose yako, you know, kwa sababu bonds ziko nyingi za miaka 5, miaka 7, miaka 10, 15, 20 mpaka sasa hivi kuna 25 year bond. So if you want to invest for the long term for retirement, then of course bond is the best place to go. Hiyo moja. Pili, it depends. If you are above 40, then I would advise you the big part of your money should be invested in bonds again, Kitu cha tatu, the other thing kuhusu bond, unalipwa interest every after 6 months, twice a year, kwa kipindi chote hicho cha hiyo bond yako. Kwa kama umeinvest kwenye 10-year bond, utalipwa kila baada ya miezi 6 based on the coupon rate ambao wanakuwa wamekuoffer kwa kipindi chote hicho. Na kitu kingine of course kuhusu bonds, ingawa sasa hivi tunasema kwamba hakuna investment yoyote ambayo is risk free, lakini bonds bado zina stand kwenye position tunasema kwamba relatively risk free, kwa sababu government zime default. We have seen in Mozambique, we have seen in Greece, Northern Ireland, we saw what Italy did. Kwa hiyo unaweza uka default, government can default. Ku default maana yake ile bond ukinunua wewe ya miaka 10, serikali inakwenda kulipa ile interest kila baada ya miezi 6 kwa miaka 10. Ule mwaka wa 10 ule watakulipa the final interest plus your principal ambao uliwapa initially. Sasa kama government is not in a position to do that, it will default and you won't get your money at that time. But we assume kwamba government usually don't default. For Tanzania, government has never defaulted. So it's an opportunity ambayo it really depends on your objective, the profile of who you are as a person. If you are young, younger than me, put much of your investment kwenye opportunities ambazo zina high return with relatively high risk kama stocks, real estate na vitu vingine. But if you're approaching your gray area, then probably I can advise you to put more money in bonds and the likes. Kuhusu angel investor, okay, let me read. So would like to know more about angel investor opportunity? I'm sending the link hapa. So what we do is we started Tanzania Angel Investors Network in 2018, and the idea was to see how can we mobilize financial resources locally, kama the way you guys do, but for the sole purpose of investing in startups. Baada kuona kwamba startups nyingi zina, and then of course mimi I get like 5-10 calls every week. Vijana want to invest in, they're looking for investors, lakini hakuna mtu ambaye is willing to invest in them, whether they're too early, they're too small. Wako vijana watafuta milioni 20, milioni 50, milioni 100. So what we do is as a network, tuna identify all the necessary technical work kwa maana ya kuangalia into their business models, where they do some basic due diligence. What ambao tunawa select, we usually have quarterly sessions. So all the members of the network will be invited kwenye quarterly session ambazo tuna select maybe 2 to 3 startups ambazo zita pitch. Ukishamaliza ku pitch, then you select as a member. Kwa hiyo kwenye network we don't invest jointly. Kwa hiyo utaamua if you want to invest. Kama the 3 of you from the members ambao wako willing to invest, then we try organize wale 3 and then they will be able to invest kwenye hiyo startup. So we only invest in startups. And you can join as a member. Minimum investment is 10 million. So if you want to participate kwenye investment yoyote, the minimum contribution from each member is 10 million. So you go to 10, you can register, and then we'll get back to you. How much do I need to invest to get at least 15% return on investment? Any amount, the minimum I think is 1 million. So anything from $1 million and above, you get your 15% return. Kwenye bonds, if you're talking about bonds. Kwenye vitu vingine, then that's case on case basis. Kwenye stocks, you cannot really tell. Then you have to analyze each stock independently to see how much sort of return inaweza kukupa. Mfano kwenye startups, PSS we don't invest kwenye startup ambayo we do our numbers. We don't see the potential of that startup giving us less than 15% year to year return. For investments ingine, you have to do there's some technical work needs to be done. Lakini kwenye bonds hizo zinasema kabisa kwamba zitalipa kiasi gani kila mwaka. What duration do you recommend to exit an investment if you don't realize the benefits? Wow. Honestly, I think it depends on how much you can sustain the bleeding. If you think you can bleed more money with that opportunity, it's about time for you to exit. There's no specific scientific answer to that. Kila mtu anaweza ka hold investment ile kwa kipindi ambacho anafikiria is worthwhile. But of course, with the bullet answer to you, what I would say, kama umeinvest kwenye najua hiyo question inaweza kawa ina relate to some of the stocks ambazo watu wameinvest hapa Tanzania, mfano labda Vodacom au invest kwenye Precision Air. So if you invested in a company kwenye IPO 500 shillings, au let's take Vodacom 150 and leo labda ina trade at 770, kuna vitu vitatu. Cha kwanza, unaweza kuwa umejiwekea wewe the minimum loss you are willing to take. Ikishafika that level, and then you sell. Lakini cha pili, you may also kama ile investment ilikuwa imesha exceed the IPO price, kama ni shares, ikaanza kurudi nyuma, and then you may decide to sell the moment it hits its IPO price. So you won't make money, but you lose the money based on the time value of money, inflation and all that, between the time you invested na siku ambao una exit the opportunity. Na kitu cha tatu, kama imeshashuka the IPO price na it keeps on going down, I think ni wewe mwenyewe tu, inategemea na kiasi cha damu ulichonacho mwilini. The more you think you can build, you die, then that's the moment you sell. Swali lingine labda?
I see a question from Esther. What's the best GICs at the moment?
What do you mean? Sorry. Maana hizi tumete maeneo mengi sasa jibu swali ambazo swali lenyewe.
Esther. Esther, unaweza ku-unmute ukauliza hili swali vizuri? Okay, naona hayupo, so na sioni kama kuna swali lingine.
Kama anamaanisha sectors, sijajua what exactly anataka.
Namaanisha investments ambazo zina offer guarantee interest.
Okay. Again, I think that will be part of the training, unfortunately. Kwa sababu, as I said earlier, it was not the purpose of this training. In the session today, in the next training, we'll show all the dividend paying investments in Tanzania, the dividend payout, the dividend yield for each company, and then we'll give you a chart for you to see and select.
Sorry, another thing, the tain.co.tz doesn't open.
It doesn't?
Yeah, I think the link doesn't exist.
Tain. Umejaza? Sorry. Umeandika nini?
Hivyo tain.co.tz.
It's on. Actually, mi hapa nimefungua sasa hivi. Can you see my screen?
Screen.
There you go.
Okay.
Labda angalia kwenye browser yako.
I don't know, computer, I tried on my phone. Anyway, I would like to join the network for angel investor.
Okay, so it's simple. You just go to the site. Let me just show you here quickly. Can you see my screen? You just go to register as angel investor. You just put your details, and then we'll come back to you.
So in the interest of time, naona hamna maswali mengine. And Salum, asante kwa muda wako. I believe club members tukikutana on our next meeting sasa hivi, we will know, tumeona kuna option ya kumengage for the professional services ili tupunguze the mistakes we are looking forward to be doing. So Salim, thank you for your time, and I would like to call off this meeting.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.